Hey guys, I figured I'd do an update today because I am going to be traveling to see my family for the holidays this weekend, and I may or may not be updating next week. I'm not sure if I'll have time, but I figured just in case I would do one today and let you guys kind of know how things have been going. And things have been going a lot better in general, especially with the recovery stuff. I think like having the extra accountability has been very helpful to me. But one other thing that I have become increasingly aware of is that our minds are our greatest threat to our success when it comes to overcoming something like this. And what I kind of mean by that is our thoughts, if we believe every single thing that our brain tells us, then there's no way that you can overcome this, in my opinion. Because my brain, and I don't know, I can't speak for everyone because I know everyone's brain works differently, and I'm not a psychologist, but I will say that my brain feeds itself some thoughts that are helpful, and then it also sometimes feeds thoughts that are not always helpful. And you have to remember that the human mind is adapted to want to seek comfort. It's something that's biological within all of us, that we prefer comfort. And so if you've been in like an addictive state, and especially I think if it was a way of escape for you, if you were using it to kind of run away from something or to not feel stressed out, then this video might especially be for you, but because that's the way it was for me. But I know that sometimes my brain will feed itself thoughts, and they're not based in fact. They're based in, oh, I just want to feel comfortable, or it's based in the idea that I just don't want to deal with this stress right now. And so your brain will actually feed itself thoughts like, well, maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal if like you watched like a little bit of porn or whatever, or maybe it's not such a big deal if you like watch this movie that might not be the greatest for this recovery, or maybe it's not a big deal if you go on social media. Those are the kinds of thoughts that your brain will kind of feed itself. And we can't obviously control our thoughts, but what we can control is how much attention that we give to them. So if you get a thought like that, what I've kind of learned is that the more attention or the more time you spend dwelling on the thought, the more powerful it becomes in your mind. So you really have to kind of be careful with that, because it might seem like just an innocent like thought at first. It might seem like it's not problematic, but if it is not serving you and you start to spend a lot of time with this thought, then it can grow. And I think that's where I was sometimes going wrong in the past, is I would always underestimate the power of that. I would always, when I would have these thoughts where my brain was kind of seeking comfort, I'd be like, well, maybe it's not so bad if I think about this just for like 5 minutes or something like that while I'm drinking my coffee or whatever. And the thing about that is, it's not that that's inherently bad, but you have to just be aware of the cycle that it creates, because not, like I said, not every thought is going to be in your best interest, and that's a hard thing to wrap your brain around. I keep using brain and thought, those words over and over again, but it's a hard thing to think about because it's literally coming from your own mind. So our brains kind of want to accept everything that we think almost as fact, but you have to analyze it sometimes and really think about, like, okay, is this something that is actually based in fact, or is this something that is coming from a place of, like, not feeling good about something, or whatever it might be. That was a really big revelation for me, actually, because it's not that I would intentionally do that, but I was not always very good about, like, flipping my mind when the thoughts would occur. I would eventually always flip it, but I think what would happen is sometimes I would marinate on a thought like that a little bit too long, and then I'd say, okay, well, I'm going to move on with the day now. But then what would happen is, because I spent time thinking about it, it would kind of come back later in the day, and I'd start thinking about it again, and it's like a snowball effect. But on the other hand, if you are thinking about, or if something like that occurs, and then you say, well, this is not serving me right now, I'm going to actually think about this other thing that would serve me, that I've really been wanting to do recently. And it doesn't always have to be something that's like hard work or stressful, but something that maybe you've been thinking about, like building a new thing for your house, or maybe you've been contemplating buying a new surfboard. I mean, I don't know what it might be, but then you start spending some time thinking about that, and suddenly, rather than that other thought taking over your mind, then you're thinking about, okay, like, how am I going to get this surfboard together? And you start to think about all of the things that would go with that. And it's really crazy too how, like, if you shift your mind like that, you can really start to make more progress on the important things. So that's pretty much it for today. But yeah, I just got done from I went to the gym this morning, and I'm feeling a little bit tired. I still have to do a little bit of work before I can relax for the day, but it feels good that I still got out there and did that. But yeah, I did a bunch of, like, almost 2-hour session today, so I'm a little bit tired for sure. But I hope you guys are doing well, and hope you guys are doing something nice for the holidays and getting some much needed relaxation before the new year. And you might hear from me again before then, but we will see. But in the meantime, happy holidays. See you soon.